Howie Roseman says, nope, we're going to hold back. We're going to sit tight. Did Howie Roseman drop the ball at the trade deadline? And we're going to talk about it right now. So let's get straight into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
This video is sponsored by BetUS. It has been a rough road for the Philadelphia Eagles this season for all Eagle fans. Will the Eagles rise to the occasion or continue to play down to the competition? If I'm going all in, giving it my all for a Super Bowl, I'm going to bet $500 and get $7,000 back at the end of the year, and we still stay true to the team that we believe in. But will the problems continue? We will find out. Make sure to check out BetUS. Get a 150% deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 with promotion code YouTube150. I want to thank BetUS for sponsoring this live stream or video, and let's get back to the content. All right, guys, so the trade deadline for the Philadelphia Eagles, and the bad news is nothing happened. But I did realize or just see that a lot of Eagle fans were so pissed off. Eagle fans are going crazy, you know. The Eagles have not been successful really since 2017. Okay, 2017, the Eagles picked up Jay Ajayi, okay, for a 4th-round pick, and ever since then, okay, I mean, obviously getting Robert Quinn and getting Golden Tate and getting the safety from Tennessee, Byard. I mean, it hasn't went well. We heard from Vic Fangio last week that he really didn't have any interest in trading for some high names. He's seen a lot of teams over the years that make these big trades and really go nowhere. And obviously, you have to look at the draft next year, guys. It's not all about this year, but it's about next year. Okay, from what all these beat writers took from Howie Roseman kind of sitting still throughout this trade deadline was pretty much they got Jahan Dotson. That was what they wanted. A 3rd-round pick and a 7th-round pick from the Washington Commanders, okay? Now, the Washington Commanders actually used that 3rd-round pick that the Eagles gave them and actually traded to the Saints to get Marshawn Lattimore to their secondary. A big move, a good move, sure. Emmanuel Forbes and some of their other corners, you know, they wanted, you know, a veteran presence at that position. It's been kind of a weak spot for them, but they surely have gotten better. So they give up a 3rd-round pick. I don't know if they gave up anything else for Marshawn Lattimore, and he's, 28 years old, something like that for an older cornerback. You don't have to pay Jaden Daniels for the next few years, so Commanders can do whatever they want. So it felt like Eagle fans were kind of like in a competition, like, oh, well, the Commanders make a move, but the Eagles have to be one up on that move. We have to kind of go one up and do something. And do I think the Eagles should have done something here? You know, I'm not looking for the high price move, but I'm looking for at least something that says, you know what, let's get a rotational guy, let's get a depth guy, let's get something like that. And the Eagles didn't really do much of anything. I'm like half and half on it. I'm fine that they didn't do anything, but I said, man, a lot of missed opportunity to add another running back or something like that. I mean, there were a third grade class Rubers, nothing crazy on the Eagles, and the Atlanta Falcons having interest in Harold Landry from the Tennessee Titans, you know, and that's, you know, it's a little bit of a step down from Myles Garrett, but that's a pretty good player right there that's dealt with injuries in the past, but still a very good player. The Eagles there wasn't really news that facilitated towards a trade towards the Tennessee Titans to get Harold Landry, so that didn't happen. We heard that the Eagles were talking to the Saints. The Saints surprisingly didn't trade. I don't think they even traded anybody, and they're over the cap like $80-something million. Like their season is pretty much done at this point. I mean, Chase Young was another name that popped up for the Eagles, and it just seemed like they didn't want to do anything there. So do I think Howie Roseman sat there and did absolutely nothing? No, he definitely made phone calls. That's what we do know. But, you know, nothing facilitated. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with it. Even if you got a Chase Young, isn't a surprising move. No, he's not the same player he used to be, but just a rotational, you know, swapping a 6th or a 7th round pick for a specific rotational player, I would have been okay with it. I felt like we kind of needed that rotational guy or something like that. We saw that Bryce Huff was on the trade block. The Eagles didn't trade him. There was a few trades for Davius White that, Preston Smith. There was a few trades to Darius Smith going to, obviously the Lions was a big one after losing Aiden Hutchinson. So there was a few good moves, but nothing that was like a blockbuster trade in the trade deadline. There was nothing crazy about it. So did the Eagles really hit or miss here? I think Fangio is just changing the philosophy. I think Howie Roseman was kind of smart to stay away because honestly, guys, if whether it's Harold Landry or Myles Garrett or even some of these other guys, okay, Trevon Walker and some of these other guys that you really want to trade for, it's going to cost you. And if the Eagles were going to give up a second-round pick here, for me, it just makes no sense. It really doesn't. Like, yes, if you're going all in for the season and, Howie's not going all in, so it means he doesn't care about a Super Bowl, doesn't think this team is going to be good this year. Unless this head coach is standing back and not being as aggressive as he is and letting, Kellen Moore do what he's supposed to do with this offense, we are perfectly fine, okay? But yes, adding another running back would have been a lot better for us in the long run because Saquon Barkley is now in the danger zone. When I'm saying that is because he had 22 carries against the New York Giants, okay? And then he had 31 touches, 27 carries against the Jaguars. You have 2 games against the Cowboys on Sunday, and obviously a big game against Commanders in Philadelphia on Thursday night. And Will Shipley needs another opportunity here because this is just getting bad now. Gainwell is a non-factor in that last game, and hopefully I am wrong, and hopefully he won't look like that the rest of the year. But it was like, man, I think from a skill set valued point, I don't think Kenneth Gainwell's a good number 2. I think he could be a 3, but as an average runner, no specific skill set. He's not even a dual threat back. He can't go out for passes. I mean, he can, but he doesn't have the metrics for that. That's not how his body works. Kenneth Gainwell is just not that type of running back. So at this point, if you didn't trade for anybody, we talked about Miles Sanders, we talked about Hubbard, we talked about a few others. Etienne, I can't say his name right, from the Jaguars, he was another guy that was on the trade block. Teams were calling about him. Nothing facilitated with that at all either. So Will Shipley, in my opinion, really needs more reps. He needs to get a chance here. Okay, not only as a rushing back, but as a receiving back, and what he could bring to the passing game is bar none. It would be a total game changer, difference maker, and doesn't get any opportunity whatsoever. So hopefully at running back, this will be the change going forward. Okay. Secondly, with edge rusher, man, I mean, look, I said before the trade deadline a week ago, if the Eagles decide to not go after anybody and it gets too expensive, okay, get Jalix Hunt into the damn rotation already. Not 5 snaps, not 6 snaps, 4 snaps. Put him in the rotation. It means he's going to have to take some snaps away, but I want to see what this guy could do. He had a good offseason program. Okay, he had that strip sack in the Giants game when they waved the white flag and, Drew Lock came into the game. But still, this would be your best coverage defensive end. And coverage, I mean, he's a perimeter guy at 6'3", 252 pounds, can move, can cover tight ends, high football IQ, gets off blocks well, is very smart, sees things before they happen. They have got to put this guy into these games. They really do. Missed opportunity here from the Philadelphia Eagles. And, the past couple weeks, we were promised that Jalix Hunt was going to be working into the rotation. But more than 5 snaps, that's absolutely ridiculous. I know you don't want to take snaps from others, but Bryce Huff doesn't need more snaps, and he hasn't because he has a hand injury right now. So hopefully, maybe Jalix Hunt will get more opportunity now since Bryce Huff has a little bit of an injury in his hand. He's not playing at 100%, and especially not even worth the money that he's given right now. Just like in the Saints game this year, when they took Bryce Huff out of the game and they added everybody else to it, it just seemed like it works with the 5-man fronts and what they did earlier in the season. But I would just slowly take Bryce Huff out of this defense and try to trade him after this year or something, because I just think he's a waste of a roster spot, and obviously he's a waste of money, and I think other guys need opportunities on that edge. And guys I'm not giving up a first-round pick for an edge rusher. I'm not giving away a second-round pick for an edge rusher. Open to what Howie, or really Vic Fangio, because I think he has the most control. I think he controlled Howie Roseman in this nature. okay, to not go after an edge rusher for a high price. Okay, he has seen trades go down for years. He knows what's going on. It's just one of those things, man. If especially it comes towards the draft next year. Okay, it comes towards the draft next year. If they're not going after, if you go after an edge now and then pay them on top of the Bryce Huff contract you're trying to get rid of, then you're not going for an edge next year. I would rather draft an edge next year than really, Myles Garrett was a pipe dream, but realistically, for what I want him here, yes, but for the price, I would not even do it for the price because I know it's going to be a high price. Landry expensive, Myles Garrett expensive, and we couldn't even get a rotational guy. Maybe they could have got a Chase Young that could have been a body, just somebody there in the rotation. It couldn't hurt. So now with the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman, what do they do next? Well, it seems like now the only players that you could sign now are guys coming off waivers by the end of the season and guys that are still on the street right now. As edge rusher, I don't know who's on the street right now that's trying to make a comeback or trying to get some playing time. I don't even know who's available that's out there on the street that hasn't signed with anybody yet. I'm not even sure what's going on yet. But I don't think the Eagles dropped the ball as much as, because the Eagles do this every year during the trade deadline, everybody expects Howie Roseman to make some big move. I think we're a little spoiled right now. I think this coaching really needs to get together. The coaching really is what's going to designate where we go this season, and that's really true for me. Yes, edge position is one of the weaknesses. There's no doubt about it, but the secondary is really good. Okay, you don't want to always get coverage. Getting coverage sacks is a great thing. Jalen Carter didn't get a sack last week, but he had 6 pressures up the middle. Got in Trevor Lawrence's face. Yeah, the sacks are important, but the pressures, getting in the quarterback's face, causing turnovers, which we had 3 turnovers in this game. 2 from our linebackers and Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. That's what you're getting out of just pressure and not necessarily getting the sacks. But you got to be smart. Fangio needs to be smart on the stunts, on the blitzes. And obviously, he's going to have to sacrifice once in a while, and you can't play passive in the second half against a bad team that your head coach is literally just throwing points out the window and really hurting yourselves throughout the game. And that's the one thing they can't do. So, that's where we are with that entire situation. That was the trade deadline for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm not even upset about it. I just want to move forward, get guys healthy, and do our thing. Get Will Shipley involved, get Jalix Hunt involved, produce what's around your team right now. Produce what you have. The only way these guys are going to get better is if they play every single week. Everybody wants the superstar. I understand it. I get it. But sometimes it can't happen all the time. It really is going to come down to the coaching. Okay, and that's where it is. And staying healthy, especially next week, because next week's a really important week. 2 division games, Cowboys in Dallas on Sunday at 4 o'clock, 4:30. And then you have a big game in Philadelphia against the Commanders. So you really, the 2 top things you got to do against the Cowboys this week, okay, is get the win and make sure you have no injuries. Because as soon as someone gets injured or has a concussion or has a little whatever it is, they're going to be out for that Thursday game, and it's going to be a total shame. I don't think Howie dropped the ball. I don't want them wasting picks on just for a year, and that's not what I want. Waste high picks on older players that have a great reputation, but getting nothing out of it. And the Eagles haven't done well during these trade deadlines at all. So from the beat writers, getting Jahan Dotson was really the move for the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's got to be fixed as well. Because that is absolutely ridiculous. You have Dotson for this year, and you have him for cheap next year, $3.5 million against the cap. There is no reason to not get Jahan Dotson involved. So we're treating Jahan Dotson like we had to move him up from practice. He's like a practice squad player that got his first start in a game, got 1 catch, and that was pretty much it. That's how we're treating him, and that's ridiculous. They have to get him more involved. I mean, it's already enough. You got two number one receivers on this team. Because I'm telling you right now, when Goddard comes back, okay, they're going to do 2 tight end sets. They're going to completely ignore Jahan Dotson, do 2 tight end sets because they don't throw to Dotson. And obviously, Hurts has better chemistry with Dallas Goedert and obviously Grant Calcaterra. And that's just how it is right now. The only move the Eagles actually made was Albert O getting released. You released a tight end that literally just came back being healthy. So I'm trying to figure out. Jordan Mailata's not coming back for another 2 weeks. Covey is not back yet. I'm trying to find out who's coming back. I don't know who else is coming back as of right now. Bradbury, maybe? That could be. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why this release actually happened, especially at tight end where we're really thin right now. And I know Goddard, unless I'm wrong, because on the Seth Joyner podcast, the doctor said he was week to week still for another couple weeks, maybe. He had no answer on his return whatsoever. So I don't know what's going on with Dallas Goedert. Mailata's still going to be out. Covey, I don't think is back yet. Maybe another week after these 2 games. And then I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think right now who No, I have no idea what this move is for. I honestly don't. So not really getting that at all, but that's where we're at. But you guys let me know in the comment section below. Are you fine with the Eagles not making a move? Was it smart? Was it not smart? You guys let me know. And guys, there's a lot of Eagle fans pissed off over this. People need to relax, okay? I know that Howie was not giving away high draft capital for 1 year. That's not happening, okay? Rotational depth. Rotation, I'm fine with that. And I think that's the type of move they should have made, whether it's for a running back or whether it was for, a rotational edge guy that can produce and is capable. That's what I really kind of wanted, but I'm fine with it. Jalix Hunt, get him in the rotation, get this thing going. I give Fangio a lot of respect that he wants to produce, and that's where I kind of am with the whole situation involving Howie and the trade deadline. And that's where we're at. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. You guys let me know in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day, and definitely like the stream. Like the video because it helps out the channel tremendously. So a once-in-a-lifetime, non-aggressive trade deadline from Howie Roseman. You guys leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.